Yeah. In your house with O'Connor. Hey, O'Connor, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Slow.
Yo, what up out there, household? My name is Hypocrisy Jones, and you know I stay hyped. But today, bro, we have a very, very special discussion. Right, you see I'm running the table right now. I'm not the head of the table, but I digress. Anyways, we have a managers roundtable discussion today, man, and I'm super duper excited about that. We have some of the best minds in the managerial, professional wrestling, and independent wrestling world today, and I can't wait to get this started, bro. I can't wait to get this started. So, without further ado, I can't do it. You know I got to bring my man on, bro. I got to bring my man on. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my homie, Hollywood Howse.
Yo, my man. Here we go, baby. Your
already know the vibes. Hollywood is in the building here for this Managers Roundtable, and you couldn't have a discussion of some of the best managers out there right now without Hollywood, the man who brought you to set. Champions managed across the states. You already know the vibes. You see it, I done it. I'm a real big stepper, and I got a whole lot of big steppers with me for this big discussion, man. So I'm going to hand it off to my man Hype, let him do his thing, because I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
Absolutely, absolutely. Forever humble Hollywood House. But he's not it. We also have Mortimer Blankenship III.
It's not like you didn't already know, but I'm the mutton shop millionaire, Mortimer Blankenship III, and I'm coming to you here on In Your House. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to probably say a lot of stuff that I won't regret. Let's be honest. I'm the smartest mind in professional wrestling, and you can take that to the bank.
Oh, man. Man, we got to talk. I got a million questions. But we also have Aloysius Skipper Jenkins the third.
You were so close to saying it right. You were so close. But the name is Aloysius Skipper Jenkins III. You have to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. I know. It's a mouthful. But what's happening? What's going on? I'm excited. Get to be around my peers.
Absolutely. Look, I'll get your name right eventually, but I got more people to bring on. So without further ado, I have very special treat. We have David Barnabas Spector, the ring.
Yours truly, the undeniable leader of professional wrestling and the voice of NWA Exodus Pro, David Barnabas Spector, aka Memphis Wrestling's ringmaster of the circus, Barnabas the leader. Oh, so happy to be involved with tonight's managerial roundtable here on In Your House.
Gotta love it. And last but not least, we have Damian Saint, very special guest. Thank you, sir, for coming on.
No, I appreciate you having me on. I mean, unfortunately, we got some clowns on here. I love these guys, but they're clowns. Sorry, Mortimer, you're not the smartest mind. Barnabas, I run a group named Undeniable. I love you guys. When we talk strategy, I'll never shut up. But I'm going to drink my wine, so let's keep going.
Oh, man. Look, if you guys can't already tell, I have my hands full with all of these personalities. But without further ado, let's bring them all on and let's get this thing started. Pray for me.
Ooh, here we are, baby.
Yo.
Oh, it's going to be a movie tonight.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully no shots fired in the intros. Everybody is happy. Everybody is happy to be here. And I want to get things started off without further ado, man. We're gonna start off very, very strong, very, very hot. And I gotta get my stuff in before y'all start talking. So like that's why we're gonna do this, right? But look, I want everyone to first off just give me a reason why you became a professional wrestling manager. Not necessarily who sparked you into the professional wrestling business, but if there is a moment, and if everyone can start off by that, we'll start off in the way you guys were introduced. We'll start off with Hollywood House and so on.
Well, man, I think that's an interesting question as far as what sparked it. I can't say that there was officially one moment that sparked it that made me feel like this is the lane that I could take. But it's always been years of watching many different managers and admiring the role for what it is. The role being a guy who can motivate you, a guy who uses his mind to get what he wants. This is a land of giants in professional wrestling. And if you could find a way to get over, if you could find a way to gain respect and gain fandom with your mind, you got to be pretty special to be in this business, I do believe. And I think that with that being said, it's important to be somebody who can motivate these talents and
I always feel like my goal is to make sure that I'm getting in these guys' ear to a point where they will absolutely run through a wall for me. And I think of guys like Paul Heyman, who look at all the people that he's motivated and have literally said that they have wanted to kill that man, but they wouldn't do it. Why? Because of loyalty to him. And when you can get those guys to be loyal to you, when you can get them to actually listen to you, I think that's very important. So as far as a moment, it wasn't really a moment that sparked it. It was just all kinds of breadcrumbs that led me to saying, this is who I can be, and this is how I can make my mark on this business.
I love that. I love that. Long-winded as ever, Hollywood Howse. No, I'm just messing with you. But what about you, Mortimer Blankenship III? What moment brought you to this managerial table?
I didn't start out wanting to be a manager. Let's be honest. I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to be a wrestler. I want to get in there and, tussle with the guys and body slam people. And it hurts. Nobody told me this stuff hurts. Why would? So I realized I have the mind for the business. I might as well just, use my mind to help the guys that have the bodies that can actually do that stuff and take the pain, because I don't want to hurt. I went to training the first day. The next day, I tried to get out of bed. I had to pick myself up by my hair. My hat. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Anyway, so the thing is why do the wrestling when I can pay people to do it for me and get the gold the same way? I mean, come on. It's brains over brawn, really.
Yo, Blankenship never lacking there. Yo, so Aloysius Skipper Jenkins III, how about you?
By the way,
did I get it right?
I'm proud of you. I knew you can do it.
Thank you.
And like the first two gentlemen said, it's about motivation, being able to motivate your people. See, with me, unlike the first two, I was actually an athlete, collegiate level. I had a full ride to the University of Michigan on a wrestling scholarship. Yeah, I was him. Don't get that twisted. I was the guy. But then injury, setbacks, then you have to realize, it wasn't just my body. It was my mind too. It was what I can see, because I can see things that other people couldn't. That's what took me to the level that I was at. So why not share the wealth? What it's going to cost?
I understand that. Mr. Spectre, on to you.
So my initiation into my love affair with pro wrestling dates way back to the Von Erichs and World Class Championship Wrestling. And that territory had some of the greatest wrestling managers in history. Gary Hart, Percy Pringle, who would later become Paul Bearer, Skandar Akbar. That essentially started my love affair with the art form of the managerial mind. Much like Mortimer, initially I had planned on being a pro wrestler, not a manager. I started training probably more than 20 years ago in Schenectady, New York. And a lot of mistakes, a lot of ups and downs in life. And eventually I started to go the way of Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman, which was being a ringside photographer. And at a point in 2018, I decided that it was time to stop lying to myself and to actually do what I really wanted to do, which was perform, but not just perform. I knew I didn't want to wrestle. I knew that my body could occasionally take the bumps and the beating, but not all the time. But I knew I could talk and I knew I could lead. And between having a past in radio broadcasting and television production, doing a little acting, but then also sharing locker rooms with a lot of young folks that needed guidance, that needed someone to be able to take them by the hand and lead them into the future. Individuals that were terrified of cutting promos. When I speak in a most eloquent manner, I saw an opportunity, I saw a niche, and I have more than exceeded my own expectations with how far I've taken this. And now the sky's the limit for the possibilities, but it's always about leadership, mentorship, trying to help pay it forward and trying to help literally lead the stars of today into the future and beyond.
That is, I would run through a wall for you. I just after hearing that, I know
you're
that's
my
what
favorite.
I know that's what House
Of our
said earlier.
managerial
But
Hollywood squares, you're my favorite now.
yes, yes, yes. Type
I
marks
know
the
I
X
used it.
or whatever. Last but not least, the Saint of Saints, Damien Saint. What brought you here?
So my story is probably quite different than everybody else's. I was convinced I would never be in professional wrestling. After high school, college, all that stuff, I had no idea about independent wrestling at all. Years later on, went to the Army, 4 years infantry, came back, found out about independent wrestling. Started going to one of the local places, found a place in South Bend 2 hours away, and started training there. And my whole mindset was, I already know there's guys who just stay local all the time, but if I get out of Chicago and go train somewhere else, I want to perfect the craft to bring it back to Chicago since it's such a wrestling city. But the thing I've loved the most is I feel like I've begun to take on like a teacher role. Like Rocket Pro Wrestling, executive producer. I'm the one running Gorilla and all that backstage. But a lot of these kids locally, I have found a way to teach psychology through every other art form, from movies to books to TV shows. That's how I got here.
I like that. I like that. You all bring something different to this table, and I feel very special being at this table, being able to kind of direct the ship or of sorts in this conversation. And we have some questions from our beloved household out there. I'm gonna first start off with Justice Shoemaker, who asked, "Which talent has been your favorite to manage or work with thus far?" This is
You
open.
throwing it to me?
You know what? I'm afraid to do this, but we'll see how this goes. You know what? First come, first serve. Go.
Oh! Dave, I see you smile.
So I'll go because this is an easy pick. I mean, I've managed a number of talents. Some of them have been bigger name talents, and they're fantastic. And I've had a good selection of individuals I've worked with. Hollywood, I know that you work with Paragon now. That's someone that I used to work with back in the day, and I think the world of him. And I'm happy to see him continue to succeed and to grow as a professional. But if I'm going to look at the entirety of my run as a managerial mind, easily head and shoulders above the rest is Maurice the Strong from the circus, because he is easily the most dedicated, committed professional I have ever worked with. He very much is that client that a manager dreams of in regards to someone that takes it seriously, someone that has no issue traveling thousands of miles on the road, someone that's dedicated in the gym and in the ring, that knows that we work as a team and trusts me and I trust him in return, both in the ring, back in the locker room, on the road, in front of fans. When you factor all of that in, somebody that you feel that comfortable with and you know that you can trust them even when you're not around, that's a top tier client, a top tier partner, if you will, because I don't always consider it manager client. When you really have that act that really speaks volumes and goes above and beyond what other people are doing or what's happened historically, then I feel like you're working more as a team and as a unit. And Maurice the Strong, easily the greatest talent that I've worked with to date. And that says a lot because by the grace of God, I've worked with a lot of excellent, high quality performers over the years.
Love that.
I could, touch on that. I've worked with a lot of big names, but and very, people that have been there, done that. But for me, it's a very simple choice. This isn't putting anybody else down because I've appreciated everybody that I've managed, but mine has to be Eric Draven. Eric Draven, reason being is not only was he someone I managed, but he's the one who took a chance on me. He was my trainer. He's the one who kind of made me realize, hey, maybe wrestling isn't what you need to do. You need to kind of, sashay over into being a manager instead of a wrestler. And I'll thank him for that forever. But the thing about me and Draven is, and I'm sure all of you have this, is it's organic. It is, you don't have to talk about anything when you go out. You just look at each other and know what we want to happen when we're out there. And it just happens, just like we're like peanut butter and jelly, baby. And it's just how it goes.
It's that symmetry when you find a good partner or a good dance partner in this. And whereas you guys aren't a tag team, but you really are a tag team, because you have to work together and coexist, and finding that person. So it seems like a special relationship, much like, finding other relationships in life, right?
For sure. So I'll jump in. I'll throw my hat in the ring here as far as my favorite talent that I manage. And I've managed a lot of guys, a lot of young guys, veteran guys now, and it's been a vibe. But for me, it's Sam Knight, man. It's Sam Knight. Sam has done so much for me and has showed me the way and put me in the right direction to become who I've become today. And a lot of it with me and him is just, he trusted me, man. Like, and that meant something to me, that he trusted me. And I didn't want to fumble that trust. So I always gave it my best shot every single time. And we just got better, and the chemistry just got better and flowing. And the run that me and him had together in like between beginning of 2001 up until the end of 2002 was one of the most special, magical times of my life. I mean, we were in Las Vegas. We were doing 3 shows in Las Vegas at an anime gaming convention. We did OVW together. We were just ripping and running up and down, and I learned so much from Sam as I came up, and as we came up together, he let me try stuff. He was like, hey, how about we do it your way? How about we do something you want to do? Hey, let's go with he always let me try things. He always let me get creative and get in my bag a little bit. And that gave me an opportunity to grow. And I think because anytime me and Sam get together, you know how it is, y'all. Like, you have that one friend, you got that one homie. Maybe y'all don't talk for a few years, but as soon as y'all start talking again, it's just like everything just picks right back up. So like, it's Sam, bro, because of the chemistry, the opportunities that he gave me, and him letting me grow into who I am. It's Sam.
Absolutely. I love that.
That's dope. So
I had the pleasure of watching that in person at Heroes and Legends a couple years ago. And to see Sam look out for you, Hollywood, and to make sure that you were taken care of, because to be honest, it's rare. It's really rare for a client to look out for a manager to that degree. And it was really nice to see. So I would have been surprised if you said anybody else other than Sam, to be honest.
It's Sam.
What's crazy is, for me, I met both of you at that Heroes and Legends. I was doing commentary. I was there early for the Tom Pritchard seminar. That's one thing about me. I always try to soak up knowledge. But yeah, I actually met both of y'all there. So that's pretty cool that you mentioned that. For me, I've had some clients that I've had the most fun with. I'm literally caused a riot with a ragtag bunch of guys that we got together, and the story was just great. I was talking shit. It was the best thing ever. But I think it is. I know who it would be, but I want to mention 2 others. The Cream Pop Poppy, Rayhan Anteas. I managed him for 1 match, and it was probably one of the most craziest matches I've ever done. But I thank him for that, because he just we just went out there and just did whatever, and it was great. So fly Manny Low, because we legit caused a riot. We did a promo after a show, and it was so hot and so intense that people thought that we were fighting, and literally cleared the venue we were at, and everybody ran to the bathroom to see who was fighting. Like, it was great. But the answer is gonna be the Infinite Man, TIM. That is more than a client. It started off that way, but that's like my brother. That's like my brother, legit. And just like I motivate him to elevate, he has motivated me. So now I'll run through a wall for him, and that's rare.
Love that.
Real talk. That's real talk.
Oh, I guess it's accurate, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Satan.
Okay. So for me, I mean, we've all had many clients. I haven't managed in a while after COVID. I ended up taking more of a general manager role. But I mean, before then, Patrick Callaway was probably one of my favorites. I wouldn't say now, though, because I'm the asshole who wants to do the Vince McMahon thing of managing and being the boss. Figures, it's me. But Steve Michaels from OVW. He actually just became our RPW champion. But the thing I love about Steve is all my other clients, they all get that little focus. They get in that tunnel where they don't listen to the fans. They kind of just think about, all right, this spot is next, this spot is next. And they don't listen to the fans. As managers, we all know we're the ones who end up listening to the fans, right?
Absolutely.
With Steve, I don't have to do that. I still listen to the fans. But with Steve, I could be on the outside. He hears the fans. If I say something to him, if I yell to him, hey, the fans are hating this, do it again, he listens because he understands what's going on with the fans. So many of my other clients, I love them, but they always got that tunnel vision. Right now, I think with Steve and this whole general manager role, I think I'm actually having the most fun I've had. And I don't know if it's because I get to be in the office as well. So I kind of feel like I get to be hands everywhere, learning everything. But yeah, my answer would be Steve Michaels.
I like that. So since we all discussed kind of our favorite clients, now like let's shift gears a little bit. So at what point do you drop a client? And have you ever had to drop a client? And in what manner do you drop a client?
It's a hot button topic, baby.
Yeah, we're switching gears here.
Yeah, we gotta have some balance, right? We gotta have some balance, and I want you guys to be able to open up and get in your bag. So, like, I mean, you don't have to name names or anything like that, but like, I think that you guys are businessmen, as managers. So, like in business, you have to make tough decisions. Sometimes you have to make tough cuts. Sometimes you have to do what's quote unquote best for business, correct?
Absolutely.
Pivoting. Who wants to take this hot potato?
It's quite simple. If they're not winning matches or injuring the top guys, I don't care. They're gone. I want the other guys that have the belts, my guys that have the belts, the guys that do have the belts, either we're taking the belts or injuring them. And if they can't pull that off, then they're not part of my fold anymore. It's that simple. I'm going to get rid of you. If you don't have what it takes, I mean, just take Emerge Wrestling. I was trying to get Braden Lee to hit your guy Paragon with a golf club, and he wouldn't do it. Well, I guess I'm not going to
call
hire
that
you.
integrity.
Well, I mean, when you have as much money as I do, I guess integrity really doesn't matter, does it?
Is that French? Is that the little French cakes with the cream and integrities?
Oh,
I ain't never had one of them.
Oh man. So I would say lack of if you're not taking directions, if you're not doing the stuff that I'm needing you to do, I can't be bothered with you. I came here to give you guidance. I came here to give you direction. I came here to give you purpose, so that way you can move up through the ranks. You can gain relevancy enough to a point where you can put yourself in title situations. It's very much we got to build from the bottom. We got to come up out the mud and build through it. But if you're not willing to listen to me, because I have a proven track record that I can get guys there, and if you have hired me, if you have brought me on as your manager to help you get to the top, I expect you to listen to some of the things that I say. So if there's not no open, clear communication, we can't go back and forth. I can't be bothered with you, and you dropped. That's it. You dropped from the label, and that's that.
Done. He's gonna Suge Knight you. I mean, never mind.
So I'll chime in without naming names, but so 2 instances where I've had to sever ties with working with individuals. One, very similar to what you just were discussing, Hollywood, is a client getting to a point where they weren't listening, becoming argumentative, at times becoming disrespectful, which I don't conduct myself in that way. And when I'm trying to do everything that I personally can to help a client to succeed, and they're not listening, and then on top of that, they're being disrespectful in the process, that's a recipe for we no longer need to work together. The other instance was an individual that decided to put hands on me after a disagreement involving going to a promoter behind my back, which I won't get into all the details of that, but any individual that would think that putting their hands on me is okay, absolutely not. That business partnership and relationship was severed instantly upon that. I wouldn't tolerate that in the quote unquote real world, and I certainly will never tolerate that in our business and our profession. So those 2 instances were more than enough for me to justify cutting somebody loose. Overall, though, as long as someone is willing to listen and they're willing to work on improving, then I am willing to do everything in my power to promote them and help them achieve a certain level of success. It's my effort is commensurate to the effort that they're willing to put out, which is why, once again, I say Maurice the Strong is easily my all-time favorite client, because I can give him criticism and I can give him critique, and it may take him a moment to digest and absorb it, but he gets it and he understands it and he quickly implements it and puts it into practice. And realistically, as a managerial mind, I can't ask for anything more than that.
I like that. It has to be tough to be in a situation to drop someone, and because this is a relationship.
Not really.
Well, unless you're a millionaire, and I don't understand that unless you want to throw me some M's.
It's
Morty,
difficult
we can
because
talk about that later.
It would be the same idea as, if you are working for a major promotion and they've invested a generous portion of television time in you, and then you just don't pan out. You're just not doing what's being asked. Like, that's frustrating. So to put all this time, effort, energy, creativity into a client, and then the client in essence spits in your face, and that's hard. It's hard to overcome that. It's hard not to feel professionally and personally hurt by something along those lines. But, we all are self-confident individuals. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. But, doesn't mean that we're not human. Doesn't mean that we don't feel emotion. But we all have the ability to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and move on to bigger and better things, because we are pros. Unfortunately, in our business, there's a lot of folks that don't understand what the professional and professional wrestling actually means.
So you want to know what's crazy? I've never had to drop a client. I always set them up with the meeting with my security, higher up salon protection, and either they come back and do what needs to be done, or I don't see them anymore. I might need to talk to them about that. But I've never had to drop anybody. So this is an unknown and foreign concept to me. So I was greatly intrigued with that.
Who wouldn't love Aloysius Skipper Jenkins III? Who wouldn't love you? And if they leave, it wasn't meant to be.
Right. And the security just they have a meeting with the security, and then I don't.
Like, what? I'm not sure.
I heard something about swimming with the fishes. I don't know what that's about.
Me.
Oh, you mean like Michigan? Don't ask questions.
Don't ask, don't tell. Yes.
Oh Lord. So we've talked about hard things in the managerial world. But you guys have priorities, and our good friend Tony Gonzalez wanted to know what is your number one priority as a manager.
Oh, I can answer this, and I can answer it fast. It's a bunch of belts. That's what I want. That's what I want for my people. A bunch of belts. Because the money, the fame, yeah, all that comes with it. But a bunch of belts. That's what I can't get myself. I can get money. I can get fame. I can get accolades. What I cannot get is a bunch of belts. And that's what I want.
I like that.
That's good.
So
answer.
for me, number one priority is as long as they want to learn, they keep with it and they keep wanting to learn. That's my whole thing. The moment they don't want to learn anymore, I don't care. Everyone wants championships, and I completely get that. For me, I would like the championships, but I'm in this to make stars. I want to take the independent guys, the rookies, I want to make them stars. Paxton Calloway had WE tryout. Jason Hodge, TNA signed. It's one of those things where as long as you don't stop, you keep going, you keep wanting to learn, you keep working on yourself. I will never give up on you. But like with this last question, sorry, I didn't get to answer that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But Mr. Jenkins, like you, I've never had a drop of clients. I've never had that issue. I'm too stubborn. I don't know how to give up on people, and then I beat it through their head. That's all I got.
Fair enough.
The number one priority.
Fair enough.
Number one priority of me, since I've done almost everything that I could think of when it comes to being a manager in professional wrestling, is now usually going to the event, achieving the goal, and then going to Waffle House and getting my all-star platter afterwards.
Say that.
Nice.
Waffle House
Nice.
Sound like a man of routine.
So-
after show, I must say.
The
Now, let me
all-star
some Waffle
platter
House
is the way to
after
go. That's the way you stay a millionaire. If you guys ever get to being a millionaire, the way you stay a millionaire is always buy the all-star platter. You get the most bang for your buck.
True.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to
And
me.
you get a waffle?
Oh yeah.
Ocracy Jones, are you taking notes?
I am. I do.
You should.
Morty,
Words of
how
wisdom from Mortimer Blankenship. Come on now.
Right now.
absolutely, yeah. I'm taking notes, but I also want to know what's your tipping policy.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you
Understood.
forget who you were talking to, please?
Understood.
What's your policy on giving the tip? That's what he's asking.
Oh. I didn't know this was that type of podcast.
I'm on here, so yes, it is.
Oh.
I'll slip this in and then throw it over to you, Hollywood. But my number one priority, with the role that I play, the managerial mind, is to make sure that my client is over. That's literally it. As long as my client is over, aka my client, my partner is over, then everything else will fall into place. I don't worry about myself. Not to sound like a braggart, but I can get myself over. I don't worry about myself, but I always am working at trying to get over my client / partner and the overall act. That is the most important thing. As long as there's a buzz, we've got some kind of traction, as long as we're moving forward with our momentum, then I feel like as long as we're there, that things are copacetic and good. If they're not, then back to the drawing board, back to the lab, and I'll figure out a way to make sure that it happens. But one way or another, I will do everything in my power to make sure that the client is properly spotlighted and promoted wherever we go.
Absolutely.
True. So for me, it's always going to be about trying to take somebody and give them direction. I think that's very important. And that's been a responsibility that's been given to me at a couple of different promotions, namely like Destination Six, is to bring guys in and give them some direction and not just let them get lost in the shuffle. And so when they utilize me, because just like all of the men here, we get heat, we get heat. So what do you got to do? You got to transfer that onto your client. So then that way they can feel that energy as well. And they can get that, oh, this guy is with this guy. Well, then he must be a dick too, So that's the connection that you make. So for me, I'm always trying to be creative in ways that I'm getting my clients over and making sure that they have something to do beyond me as well. Because I think one big thing that I've learned in the professional wrestling business is you always need to be asking what's next. You could be doing something, you could be in the midst of something great right now, but you got to always be a step ahead, even when you're doing something great. One thing that I noticed, and it has something to do with the manager, it has something to do with Paul Heyman. One thing I've noticed that he's done, that he's at the upper echelon of managers right now. He is up there with Roman Reigns doing his thing with the bloodline and just dominating right now. But this man is still having side conversations with Braun Breaker. Why would he be doing that? Because Paul Heyman is planning his next move. He's about 2 steps ahead. And I think that if you can play chess like that and help them give that direction, help them, put them in that spot where they need to be at, and then move them on and give them something relevant next, then that's my goal right there. But also, I want a bunch of belts. I want a bunch of belts.
Right.
I think that's the ultimate goal, is that right, is that you want your client to win championships. You want to be successful no matter what that looks like. Success is, being on top. And there's different ways you can look at that, I guess, but ultimately it's those titles, it's cashing those checks, it's buying those houses, buying those cars, right? And being able to eat those all-star Denny's meals.
Denny's.
No. I love
Waffle
Denny's.
House?
Waffle House. My bad.
Waffle House.
That's a soft spot on my
My bad.
heart.
Whoa, we talking.
I don't know. I don't do Waffle House either. So
Listen,
apparently we're the
Over here saying Denny's.
So I can get
My bad. I haven't seen a Denny's in forever. My bad.
One of moons over my hammy.
Listen,
My gosh.
Hypocrisy Jones. Don't tell Mortimer I said this, but Denny's is better than Waffle House. Don't say I agree with you.
No,
Says the guy that hangs
you're
around
absolutely
clowns in a circus.
You're absolutely right. It
Mortimer!
depends on where the
Mortimer!
Waffle House is in the hood or not the hood, right?
David said he loves
Listen,
Waffle House.
how about we split the difference and we go to IHOP and get crepes?
IHOP.
Crepes.
Listen,
Crepes.
wait, hold on.
Crepes?
All I'm saying is,
Get out of
listen,
here with that
all I'm
hot
saying
man.
is this. All I'm saying
I
is
just had a
this.
whole mess of them this morning. Like crepes.
That sounds delicious. But listen to this. If you go to a Waffle
Those
House
little
and the
thin
cook
pancakes.
if you go to a Waffle House and the cook got a do-rag on, you're gonna have the best meal of your life.
You're not
Especially
wrong.
if you're smoking a cigarette.
If you got a
Right.
cigarette behind his ear, you about to
Right here.
feed.
Plus
knows
check for
what
the
he's
ankle
talking about.
monitor.
This
Love
guy
it. I
down
love
here.
I love
Not
it.
so much.
So we have a question from household member Joshua Kuhn. He asked, why does it seem the indie promoters don't take chances with working together more? There's so much wrestling these days and a lack of cross promoting. Is there a reason, or am I way off base?
So there's Pandora's box.
I know that it's a deep water question. It's a deep water question because but how would you how do you guys handle that?
Mr. Jones, do you mind bringing up the question again? Just so I can see it.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's such a long thing. Okay. So I'll be the odd one. I'll be the first one to talk since I never do that. So the problem with independent promoters, they have such big egos. They think they're the big shot in the area. They might be the only promotion within 30, 40 miles. And they sit there and puff up the chest and go, I'm the professional wrestling company right here. And then they want to sit there and go, oh, you're 50 miles away? You're 30 miles away? Screw you. Cool. He's another promotion. If you guys don't have the same people, you can work together. There's nothing wrong with that. I get there's the whole fourth door thing, but sorry, W finally broke that damn thing with bringing in TNA. That would be off the table completely. If the biggest company in the damn world sits there and says, nah, we don't care about it anymore. There's not one damn excuse an independent promoter can use unless they think they are bigger than Triple H.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I know this is a loaded question, and there is a lot of different potential answers to this, whether it be egos or just general dislike between other people. But is there a world where professional wrestling works together more within itself?
I don't know if it is in this current climate, only because of one thing that I hate in wrestling, and that's politics. It's a lot of politics in wrestling, and it's a what is it? Shoot, I forgot the word for it, but it's not really based on what makes sense. It makes sense on who's popular or who's not popular, or who has heat with this person, or things of that nature. And it's never like, hey, let's make money. Let's entertain these people. Let's make something bigger than the sum of both parts. But instead of that is, nah, I don't like him. He said something to me crazy 4 years ago. So
can be a lot of that. I'm happy that this question got brought up, and I want to give everybody time, but there's so many layers to this. And I like that Aloysius Skipper Jenkins the third. I'm sorry I didn't say that fast. But I like that he brought up lobbying kind of between promotions, because that's kind of your guys' job. As managers, you're seen as kind of not necessarily the middleman, but the guy taking care of things. And how do you combat these sort of things between promotions for your people, to lobby for your people, to get them out there more?
Go.
So you've got a lot of layers here to what you're asking. So in regards to the question that the listener or the viewer posed, I will say that a big portion of that is ego, competition, and one promoter being concerned with how their talent would be booked on another person's show and vice versa. Basically not having complete say over a show, but having to share that with someone else. It's rare that two promoters are going to see eye to eye in the regards to the way that they promote and in the regards to how their talents are going to be treated. I mean, there's been several instances over the years where various companies tried to work together. During the 80s, there was a group of promoters, AWA, USWA, World Class. They all tried to work together to combat Vince McMahon, and it was a complete flop because they all that nobody could get along. Nobody was on the same page. Hypocrisy. State again, please, what the last question that you just asked.
So I was asking, how do you guys combat that within promotions for yourselves, for your clients?
Sure.
Because you're kind of lobbyists in this sense.
So for me personally, I try to make sure that I'm not working too many promotions that are within a similar radius, because I want the act to appear to be a special attraction. So I don't want to work in a particular area and then 20, 30, 40 miles down the road, I'm working another promotion that shares a lot of the same fans and a lot of the same locker room. Occasionally, does it happen? Of course it does. We've all experienced that. But ideally, I try to spread out my bookings so that that's a non-factor, because I don't want to get into a situation where, because one promotion is pushing us this way and another promotion is pushing us that way, that I have to get into this long-winded conversation or basically, lobbying campaign of like, okay, we're at the top of the card here. I can't come here and be the curtain jerker or do the job to a kid that's 120 pounds soaking wet, if that makes sense. But I think distancing your bookings helps alleviate a lot of that pressure and a lot of that issue.
I think the way that I've taken care of this situation is, when I go to different companies, I see who works for the companies, and then I just manage. I talk to the wrestlers that manage the wrestlers at the company. I don't necessarily have one person that I take from place to place to place. I manage different people in different companies. That way, they're not conflicting.
Hey,
I like
that's
that.
a good point.
And that's a smart move, Damien. I mean, that's something that I've done in the past too, where sometimes it can be hard to find clients that are, that you can count on to travel with. And sometimes it's easier to promote yourself and allow the promotion to find you people to work with rather than you having to drag somebody with you. So absolutely.
Well, on the other hand, like I just said that I do that, but there is a lot of cases where, and I know I'm sure you all have had this. Being a manager in wrestling it's not the easiest to get booked. Especially a lot of companies expect you to bring somebody, and for me that would be a 5 count Frank. I have him. He lives locally. He's willing to hop in the car and go with me whenever I need it to happen. But whenever he wants to, if we find a booking, he wants to take it, he'll take it with me. But it's really difficult because I know in this area, a lot of companies now think that a manager is somebody's cousin or girlfriend, and I for one know there's a lot more to it. I know you all agree with me that there's a lot more to it than somebody that stands on the outside of the ring and gets the crowd to clap or boo.
True. The way I've combated that is I'm pretty much in everything. And I try to get booked by the promotion and work within the promotion to find a client. Outside of Tim, that's typically what I would do. So for example, commentary is my bread and butter. Excuse me. Why am I talking like this? Any place I get booked to do commentary, I pretty much manage a guy or a person there. So that's kind of been how I work with things, except for Tim. Tim is, listen, wherever Tim go, I'm there. Unless I got another booking. But that's my go-to right there.
Yeah. So for me personally, like the way I kind of combat everything is because I keep myself booked in a couple different places that are like really not in the same area. Like I'll consistently I'm out of state, so with that being said, I don't get wrapped up in what's going on in just one promotion, because when you get too wrapped up in what's going on in one promotion, then you get overly invested and you start to wear yourself down, and you're worried about a certain way things are going and this and that. And then there's people that just unload on you, especially when you're somebody that is like welcoming, and like they don't ever get a chance to unload that much on you, and they unload so much on you, and it's like, listen, like I'm trying to do what's best for the promotion here, but you're coming at me with what's going on 20 miles down the road. And I'm like, I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned about what we're doing here right now at the show, so we could put on the best possible show that we could possibly put on for the fans out there. So like, I think for me, the way I combat it, because I know that with the egos and whatnot, it's no fighting it really right now. So the only thing I can do is tune myself out of it and just keep my head down and focus on the grind and get my talent over and keep myself over, whether I'm on commentary, managing, or doing backstage stuff.
I like that. Hey, it's a weird and it's kind of a complicated world, this professional wrestling industry. I would say there's no one answer for anything or anyone, whether it's for a promotion or for an individual or for a talent, right? That there's many different ways to get in here to take on this industry. And I think that you guys are all prime examples of people that take on this industry in a similar way, because all being managers, but all take it on from very different perspectives, and you can see that, but it's all you're all making it work. And I think that's great. I have another question from Joshua Kuhn, and he asks, do you guys prefer to find a talent to work with, or do you prefer a talent to seek out your services? I'd assume the latter would cost more, so it's better on the back end, right? Yeah.
You know, I feel like personally, like I've had a lot of guys come to me and they ask for my services, and there's been times where I've reached out, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like personally, when they come to you, it means they're seeking you out. They're looking to want your guidance. They want to, it's showing a willingness, like they seeked you out, you know? So that means, hey, you respect what I'm doing, or you appreciate what I'm doing, or you see what I can do for you. And you're going to come and trust me to do what's best for your career, you know? So personally, I feel like coming to me is just a level of trust where it's like, okay, you opening yourself up to me to want this. So I'm assuming that we're going to ride this together, and we're going to, you know, try to enhance each other. I'm going to try to enhance you, but we got to stay moving together as a unit. And so I feel like when you try to reach out to somebody, you know, so there's always that chance that, you know, you're going to get left on red, or you might try it and it might be a little forced, or they feel like they're doing it because they have to, or maybe the promotion wants it. I just feel like if they're coming and seeking me out, there's a better opportunity for chemistry to flow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree on my end too. I would think, you know, the same thing, and that if an individual has reached out to me, that shows initiative. It certainly shows interest. It shows me that they have enough of a work ethic to where they took that next step to want to reach out because they knew that I could add something to what they were doing. And same, there's certainly individuals that I've reached out to and shown interest in working with. Occasionally it's worked out. A lot of times it hasn't. Because not all talent obviously is open to the idea of working with a manager, which is completely fine. But you're absolutely right, and I wholeheartedly agree that someone that actually reaches out to you and shows interest and is digging your vibe and what you're putting out into the world, there's much more of a chance that you can have that connection, that symmetry, you know, to be able to work together moving forward. You know, the chemistry, the right chemistry between a manager and a client, much easier to develop that when you know that both individuals are on the same page and both actually want to be there and want to see the act succeed.
Personally, I think my favorite situation would be when a booker contacts me and says, hey, I've got this talent. They can't talk worth a damn. I need somebody that can talk.
Yep.
That's because that's when you know you're doing the right thing, when the booker gets a hold of you.
True.
Absolutely.
Man.
Probably also better on that back end, right?
Yeah.
That is
it really depends. Because I always feel like I'm the odd one, just because how my mind always works. When a talent reaches out to me, it's humbling. It really is, because a lot of times I don't think I'm as good as everybody else says. It's that whole imposter syndrome. But as soon as someone reaches out and they want me to manage them, it fills my heart. It makes me happy. Because one, it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something right. Two, they want to learn. But on retrospective, for reaching out to talent, again, I'm with you guys that reach out, sometimes just left unread. But for me, it's because if I'm reaching out to someone, I'm already thinking stories. I'm already thinking psychology. I'm already thinking how we can work together. And that just makes me excited.
So for me, I normally reach out. That's just me because I'm the reach out person. I'm a salesman. I know how to sell. But it's great when you have someone reach out to you who already knows how to cook. They already come with a cookbook. They already know how to work in the kitchen, and they just needed you to be the chef. I love that. I love that. And best believe I will put you to work and get you that Michelin star that you've been missing.
Ooh, somebody's been watching Next Level Chef.
Oh, hey, Aragon. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. Everybody cooking, everybody working. I love this. This we've had a lot of interaction in the chat. We've even had some potential future deals in the chat. And I don't know, Morty. You seem to have some enemies in the chat. I don't know about all that.
You have no proof. First off. I mean, chairs.
He said chairs.
That's right up there with the long way. Sniff's chairs.
He said sniff chairs. So.
He has no proof. That's all I gotta say.
He says he has pictures. I think he said he has pictures.
Oh,
I would like to see these pictures.
Oh,
did this happen at the Waffle House?
Waffle House is wild.
I don't know, P, but before you drop anything, let me put it behind a paywall. I'm just saying.
That is insanity. Mortimer. Listen, I don't kink shame, but my God, man. Hey, if you like it, I love it, baby.
I mean, have you ever smelled a lazy boy?
Huh?
Lord have mercy.
Oh man,
smelling the lazy boy is insane.
Mr. Jones, it would be about the time.
Yeah. We are getting off the rails here. This
ring the bell.
So many different.
Hypothetically speaking, lazy boys are the best to sniff.
Right. I'm looking for a reel. Thank you so much. I don't have anything.
I got nothing.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
What do you think, Howse? Are you more of an Ashley?
That's literally going to be the only thing that anyone remembers from this particular broadcast. Is that?
Yeah.
Mortimer
Blankenship, baby.
Mortimer Blankenship, baby. That's what it is.
I'm gonna make a special clip of that, and we're gonna put it everywhere. So, love it. We are going to wrap things up here, and I'm gonna try to rein us all back in a little bit. We do have a.
He said he'd be having the couch cushion and be going.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
No.
Oh my God!
No, it wasn't cushions. It was chairs, not cushions.
It was chairs.
Mortimer Blankenship will be taking your chair sniffing request on his OnlyFans account following this broadcast.
You mean I can make money off of this?
Yeah, you actually can. The world.
And I've only been doing it for fun. I mean, never mind.
There's a market for it, bro.
There is a market.
Everybody likes something.
There's a market for everything.
You throw some picks in there, and you'll go from a millionaire to a billionaire, my friend. Man.
I am loving this. Again, we don't want this to be the last time that we do this. We want to all be able to get together, have this good time. I think we had a good time today. We've learned a lot. But I do want to give everyone a chance to kind of like to kind of talk about yourself. As we end this, so I'm going to give everybody individually the floor to open reign, promote yourself, promote what you're doing. Tell us a little bit more about what made you get into this managerial world. And I think we're going to start off with Mr. David Barnabas Spector. So,
okay. So I wanted to make mention of an individual that was originally supposed to join us this evening, and unfortunately, due to illness, he was unable to attend. So hopefully, when we get back together again and have our next edition of the Managers Roundtable, he can join us. But Hollywood Bobby Olson, the manager of Jake Christ, the Wrestling Revolver Heavyweight Champion. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Bobby. When I first took the David Barnabas Specter persona for a test drive, it was during the first Starcast as part of All In Chicago, Mr. Saint's backyard. And during that particular event, I did a interview with the one and only Tony Schiavone on a set that was very reminiscent of the old school NWA 605 TBS set. And it was the first time that I had publicly done a version of the Spectre persona. And later, Tony utilized the audio from that particular interview, that promo, in his podcast, What Happened When. And the very first individual that told me about it and made me aware of it was Bobby Olson, because he's been so supportive of me all the way through. He was with me when I was a ringside photographer. He's been nothing but encouraging when I decided to come on the opposite side of the rail and start actually working. And he's definitely an inspiration here in the Cincinnati and Dayton areas. But, you know, thank goodness, Mr. Spectre has been in demand with a number of different companies. I consider my home base at this point to be Memphis Wrestling, which has always been a hotbed for professional wrestling managers. My very unique act, The Circus, with Maurice the Strong, we are very rapidly gaining momentum as some of the most hated, despicable individuals that Memphis has ever seen. And now with the partnership that Memphis has with Booker T's Reality of Wrestling and with David Marquez's Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I am incredibly excited on what the future holds. Coming up, though, in the immediate future, Saturday, March 9th, World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling. I will be there in Chillicothe managing the NWA's Judas. And on Sunday, March 10th, I return to Memphis Wrestling for another great TV taping. The following week, March 15th, that's on a Friday, I am the voice of NWA Exodus Pro. That takes place in Cleveland, Ohio. And on March 16th, I will be in Tupelo, Mississippi, once again with The Circus as part of Tupelo Con, as VIP Championship Wrestling presents a star-studded event featuring Austin Idol, Steve Kern, and the one and only Butterbean. And I am looking forward to meeting Butterbean and talking with him, because if you've been following DDP, you've seen the absolutely incredible transformation Butterbean has made. So that is going to be a lot of fun. There's a whole lot more to come, but I'm not the only one here. So, gentlemen, take it away.
Oh, shit, I'm up next. All right, so anyone who's not aware, the name's Damian Saint. Very simple. I'm an asshole. I'm always going to be an asshole. But I'm the asshole who will fight fire with fire. I don't care if you call me a babyface. I don't care if you call me a heel. At the end of the day, I'm still Damian Saint. I'm going to cause chaos with someone. Someone's going to end up getting hurt. I'm going to laugh. Hopefully it's not me. Screw you, Bobby Olson. You've hit me too many times. I love you. For me, I don't do a lot of bookings. I've learned to keep things very small, very close. I'm very selective of where I work. I do have some big things possibly coming up. I don't want to spoil it or jinx myself. But March 2nd, Rocket Pro Wrestling in Joliet, Illinois. The company that I am the co-general manager, that will not last. I'm not getting rid of them. I'll find a way. But as the general manager, Steve Michaels, my client, also the biggest member of my group, Undeniable, will be facing Aaron Stone, our RPW champion. And Stone, I don't like Stone. But here's the thing. The first time I was general manager, he said he didn't care. So, screw him. Who's next?
It is I, Aloysius the Skipper Jenkins the third. You have to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. Your favorite talker's favorite talker, ASJ, and the J stands for journalism. That's right. How y'all doing, man? Listen, follow me on everything. I'm Googleable. That's right. That's a word, Googleable. ASJ the 3 on all social medias and TikTok. I got a TikTok. I'm not too old for one. But listen, I am so grateful just to be a part of this business and being able to use my expertise, use my brain in a way that I wasn't able to before. And it's been working out because my best client is the Infinite Man, TIM. Okay, I'm done.
Once again, it's the Mutton Chop Millionaire, Mortimer Blankenship III. And, you know, I'm going to make it short and sweet. If you want to see my beautiful face in person this coming weekend, you need to be in Hanover, Indiana for Supreme Wrestling, where the magic happens. I will be managing NWA's tag team, Magic Incorporated. It's going to be awesome. We're going to show up. We're going to take the AIWF World Tag Team Championships from Custom Made. I can guarantee it. And then on Saturday, Wrestling Theology Fellowship Ring Riot in Anderson, Indiana. You can come see my beautiful face there. Buy a hat from me because you don't become a millionaire without selling something or making some sort of money some sort of way. Apparently, I can make some sort of OnlyFans. I'm learning things. I do enjoy that. But yes, come say hello. Also, if you don't want to come see me, but you'd like to send this beautiful face to somebody, I got a Cameo. If you go to cameo.com/MortyB3, you can send this beautiful mug to your friend, your wife, your enemy. I'll do anything you want. I don't care as long as it doesn't get me arrested. Yeah, I think I take that back. I'll do almost anything you want. I'll do birthdays. I'll do bar mitzvahs. I'll do breakups. But other than that, thanks for having me on, guys. I want to tell everybody to have a good night, except for Paragon, because Paragon sucks eggs. And you can take that to the bank.
The producer, the director, the hit maker, Hollywood Howse. I can take you to the top. I can make you a hit. You already know the vibes. Anytime the big stepper comes through, I'm here. And you know, I'm always thinking 2 steps ahead of everybody else. That is why I have managed talent to the top, because I have a unique relationship with promoters, a unique relationship with talent, and I can make these connections happen because I stay connected like Wi-Fi, baby. I'm gonna hook it up like cable jack. So you already know the vibes. You can catch me. Next time you see me, it's gonna be Emerge in Like a Lion, and I'm going to be sitting there on commentary, probably talking some mess to Morty when I see him come out, and it's always a vibe anytime we slide on through. I always get a chance to see my man, my dog, Paragon. Always got a shot. I can't sit up here and do this. I can't sit up here and do this manager roundtable and not mention my man Paragon and everything that we've done together. You know, championships here, there, everywhere. He done it. Straight killer. Paragon, shout out to you, bro. Much love. But as far as me, you already know I'm here to do whatever I can to help out your show. You need me to do some backstage stuff? Hey, I got you. You need me to hop up on commentary? I'm masterful. You need me to manage your talent? I can elevate him. Anything I do, anything I touch turns to gold. Anything I touch is a hit, because that's the way that I move. And I move different than everybody else, baby. So you already know the vibes. If you want to enhance your show, put Hollywood on there, the Los Angeles loudmouth. And guys, you already know, anytime I slide through, it's going to be a hit.
What ruins the show? Oh, please.
Yo, my name is Hypocrisy Jones, and I tried to hold it down between this this table of managers that have a mouthful to say, and hopefully I did an okay job. We really plan on doing this more. Hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully you like the vibes. Hopefully you like everything that was involved. I want to personally thank all of the panelists on here, from my road dog, my brother Hollywood Howse, to Mortimer Blankenship III, to Aloysius Skipper Jenkins III, to David Barnabas Spector, and Damian Saint. Thank you all for coming on. Shout out to Bobby Olson. Know he was supposed to be a part of this, but he was under the weather, so hopefully we get him next time. Yo, again, my name is Hypocrisy Jones. You can catch me right here on In Your House. You can also catch the vibes every Sunday as we do an In Your House party, bro, where we talk about everything that's wrestling with myself, my homie Hollywood Howse. Sometimes our homie Paragon slides through. You never know who's going to slide through. We also do weekly reviews from Hollywood solo shots of Raw to my smoke sessions of SmackDown. Yo, come through, feel the vibes, and thank you for joining the household.
Hey, before we go, we still on?
Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood Howse.
Yo,
You know what? Sam Knight's the forever champ, right?
yeah.
Nah, you know what forever means? Infinite. We had your boy beat. We had him beat. If you wouldn't have stuck, you're stupid.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Get him
But
off here. Get him out of here.
I don't know what happened there, but my name's
Come and
Hypocrisy Jones,
disrespect
and
me
we
on my
gotta go.
podcast.
Peace.